So after listening to new Cleveland Browns head coach Todd Monken speak earlier today when he was introduced to the media and to the fans, I'm way more comfortable if the Cleveland Browns were to move forward without Jim Schwartz as their defensive coordinator. And I'll explain why in a second. What up with y'all? Earl of Pearl. Y'all know the vibes, man. If you woke up this morning, you already won. I hope you are doing something right now that your future self will thank you for. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show YouTube page. So today, during his press conference, Todd Monken, of course, was asked about Jim Schwartz. He said that he had spoke with Jim Schwartz. He would not elaborate on the details of that conversation. He felt that it was inappropriate. He also said that playing against Jim Schwartz defense was a bitch. That going up against that scheme and the players inside that scheme presented mass challenges all the time. I'll give you the second quote here. This is what Mary Kay put out on Twitter. He said that I didn't take this job because of Jim Schwartz. I took this job because of the players. I didn't try to chip Jim Schwartz. I tried to chip Myles Garrett. He went on to say he took this job because of Jimmy Haslam, D. Haslam, Andrew Berry, so on and so forth. Now, Mary Kay did put out, I think a day ago, maybe 2 days ago, that Todd Monken had planned on keeping the entire defensive staff intact. Todd Monken also said today that the entire defensive scheme, whether Jim Schwartz is here as the defensive coordinator or not, will stay intact. And so I think that's a positive for Browns fans as we move forward, because you're keeping the staff if Schwartz is gone, and the scheme stays intact if Schwartz is gone. That's the continuity that the Browns fans was looking for anyway. That was the reason why Browns fans wanted to keep Jim Schwartz aboard anyway, to keep the continuity on that side of the ball. Where our new head coach just confirmed that even without Jim Schwartz, that continuity on that side of the ball will stay intact. And so that's a positive as we move forward. And it just leads me to believe, okay, if the Browns are going to take their time, and he said they're going to take their time filling out the staff and doing their due diligence, I think that there are two names internally that we should look for or look out for that could be possible replacements for Jim Schwartz. The first one is Ephraim Bonda, who is the Cleveland Browns safeties coach. He has been an internal candidate that's been rising through the ranks, had a few interviews for defensive coordinator positions elsewhere. The second one will be linebackers coach Jason Tarver, who many people believe is the right-hand man to Jim Schwartz. He, too, have in the past interviewed for other DC jobs. And so keeping the staff intact and having two strong internal candidates like Bonda and like Tarver can fast-track the hiring process if Todd Monken decides to go in that direction. If he doesn't decide to go in that direction and, take his time and find somebody outside of the building, I got to imagine that this is an attractive job to anybody who has any type of, background with this scheme. Because if you have any type of background with this scheme, even if it's not exactly to the T how Jim Schwartz operates it, there's enough talent on that side of the ball that you should be able to step in and have immediate success. Anytime that you got a 5-time Pro Bowler at corner like Denzel Ward, and you got a soon-to-be 2-time Defensive Player of the Year and one of the best football players in NFL history, and Myles Garrett, those are two pretty attractive components to any coach that's outside of the building that is familiar with this scheme to want to come in and be the next defensive coordinator for the Cleveland Browns. Todd Monken also said that he had a lot of respect for Jim Schwartz as a coach and that he hoped Jim Schwartz had a lot of respect for him. And after about almost a week removed from Todd Monken being named the Cleveland Browns head coach and the fallout behind that as it pertains to Jim Schwartz, I'm becoming more and more comfortable with the Cleveland Browns moving on without Jim Schwartz. I think if the reports is true and he crashed out the way that he did professionally, I think that's a bad look. And I think it's best for everybody if we just sever ties, and move forward. Because if I'm Todd Monken, do I really, really want somebody who felt that emotionally strong about not getting this job to the point he don't even want to be here at all despite being under contract, that would make me a little weary. That would make me wonder, okay, the moment that we have some type of adversity, is this person is going to try to undermine me? That's a real thought process. And when you act like that, to me, that's showing a little bit of entitled behavior. And nothing is promised to anything, to us except for what? Taxes and death. And if you a fool who don't want to pay your taxes, then it's a penalty that comes with that. But anyway, just looking at that and how that all played out, as a fan, it left a bad taste in my mouth. And just think about it, right? I'm not saying that you don't have no right to not feel some type of way or have any type of emotions when something don't go your way or you don't get a professional position that you feel like that you've earned. But how you respond to stuff like that, it says a lot about your character, and it says a lot about, you as a person, quite frankly. I can think of being in situations myself working for the city of Cleveland, being up for certain promotions and looking at my resume and feeling like I should have gotten those promotions, but I didn't. I can also remember being at the city of Cleveland and, running a department with seven other people, being the youngest person in that department and with the person with the least amount of experience. And I was the person that was promoted to supervisor. And I can just recall looking around at some of the employees and just seeing like them being really pissed off because they felt like, I know more than this dude. I've been here longer than this dude. Why did he get a job that I felt like I earned? And to be totally honest with you, it kind of made working with some of those folks a bit uncomfortable and a bit harder than what it had to be. Because one, they become gatekeepers of information. And two, they're not really as willing to help you when they feel like that they can do the job better than you for whatever reason that they may have. And that's just an example of how that thing can go left in a professional world. Well, the same thing can happen on an NFL football team, just like it could at a regular paying job. And if I'm Todd Monken and this is my first job, I want to make sure that I got people in that room that got my back at all times. That's not trying to undermine me, that is not looking to replace me, that don't have no ill type of feelings because how situations played out. And I just think for us as fans, now knowing that okay, the staff is staying in place, the system, the scheme is staying in place, that should make us feel 10 times better about still being successful on that side of the ball, even if we move forward without Jim Short. So I just wanted to jump on for a few minutes and give you all my thoughts on that. I'm pretty sure we'll have more on this conversation tomorrow on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. Remember, like, subscribe to the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show page, ring that bell so you can stay in the know of this spinoff show and all the rest of our spinoff shows that we got kicking off for you. Remember, man, be great, spread love. Being great come with a price. Spread love is priceless. Till next time, I love y'all. Peace.